This is not just occasional users of Bitcoin Cash. Most of our players, they make all of a big part of their income in Bitcoin Cash.
Welcome to this Bitcoin Out Loud interview. Today, I'm joined by Denis Oliynykova, who is one of the founders of the AxieBCH Gaming Guild. Denis, thanks for joining me.
Hello, thanks for inviting.
Your website describes AxieBCH as the first and only play-to-earn gaming guild based exclusively on Bitcoin Cash as guild members' payout currency and the smart BCH token AxieBCH as an investment and reward vehicle. First, let's talk a little bit about what the game is that this gaming guild is being built around. Now, this game is Axie Infinity, and it's an Ethereum game. Is that right?
It's Ethereum plus their own sidechain called Ronin. They're moving from Ethereum to our own blockchain. But at the moment, it's still Ethereum plus Ronin. I think soon it will be completely on their own blockchain.
The sort of core gameplay, the functionality of this game uses NFTs, right?
Yeah, it's based on NFTs, but I would say the first that this is not an NFT game where you working with collectibles. This is first of all a game, and this is a battling game with the elements of poker and chess. So it's card game, it's battling game, and also NFT game. But in the base, yes, this is NFT game because the digital creatures, it's NFTs.
Sure. I guess that's worth pointing out, isn't it? Most of the time when we talk about NFTs, people might think of CryptoKitties, whereas in this case, there may be a collecting aspect to it, but it's also the battling aspect. So you need 3 of these Axies, right? Which are these creatures, kind of like Pokemon maybe, to play, right?
Yes, absolutely. So basically, the game played by teams. Every team has 3 Axies inside. You have basically 2 modes, PvP mode and PvE mode. So player vs. player, you can go to arena and play with other players. You can play on season, off season, be a part of leaderboard. There is completely different Axies with their own cards, with their own body parts, and each body parts have a different function. Like you can be very good in offense or defense. You can cheat your opponent, in game. You can poison your opponent. Everyone is different. And if you have 3 yours and 3 opponent, you have a million of different combinations which can be in the game. I would say the secret of the big success of Axie Infinity, the game itself is good. And the team who developed the game itself, it made and is making the very good job of updating and balancing the game. I love to play Axie Infinity even when this is not for SLP, even tokens which can be exchanged for money. As many players, I love to play it for fun, for enjoyment.
The startup cost to play if you want to actually own an Axie of your own has gotten pretty high, hasn't it?
Yes, there is 2 aspects. First, that start cost is quite high. And the second is, the start cost for inexperienced player is even more higher. You have this barrier to buy your first team, but absolutely impossible that you will get into your team from the first try. This is a process because it's not only about the Axies itself. There are different strategies for different type of people. So your team may be attacking or defending, fast or slow, straight or cheating a bit, So you spend $1,000 for the team. And then you found that this team is not very good for you. And now it's a question of I will sell this and buy this. And till you go to your team, you can actually change 4 or 5 teams or even more. So if you are not familiar with the game, you can actually lose on trading.
Seems like that cost would have been a big barrier, but this is where guilds come in, and there are these scholarships. People are being paid to rent and play with the Axies or something like that. Could you elaborate a little bit on what is going on now? And I hear it's a lot of people in the Philippines that are doing this. Is that right?
Yes, this is absolutely correct, but I think this is only the beginning. The fact that Axie Infinity creates the whole ecosystem, economic system around the game. And these relationships with the one side, the people who want to play but do not have enough resources to step in the game, And from another side, the people who got or invest or breed, or enter the game a little bit earlier when access was more accessible and cheaper, this creates this phenomenon of scholarship, the phenomenon of guild. The guild are basically digital assets owner, which create the communities of players who can step in the game with no upfront costs. And this is actually a very unique and very win-win situation, because the good guilds, they still remain most of income for the players, but they also can provide a lot of additional services. So we have like this civilized economic relationship between digital assets owner and player who want to lease, to rent. It's basically leasing, it's rent of digital assets, and it works perfectly. Axie Infinity is probably the only game which realized a special mechanism which allow guild to give the access for being used without transferring the keys. So the player can play, but the player cannot transfer. And also the player cannot by himself withdraw the in-game points. One time per 2 weeks, what we do, we claim in-game tokens, then sell it for some stable coin, then buy a Bitcoin Cash with this stable coin, and then distribute the Bitcoin Cash. Also, in this moment, the player can ask for updating the team. This is what we are doing quite frequently. And we are doing this because only the manager can update it, team can exchange, because only the manager holds the keys for the access. Again, this is not the question of here is 3 access play and we don't care. Yes, in AxieBCH, we are very caring about this, because we want people to earn more, because guild also earn more, and our token holders will also earn more. We also players. Our head coach is top 100 player, and I also play on the pretty good level. And we know the potential of each and every team we give out. And if, for example, we see that this team has a potential of, let's say, 1,500 ranking, and the player is 1,550, so he's overjumping the potential of the team, we first offer, we can give you more expensive, we can give you more updated Axie, so you can earn more. And basically it works.
And I do want to clarify one thing. So you're claiming the tokens that they earn through the game, is that right?
Yes, smoothly, often, and it's very often confused with our simple ledger protocol. It's just the same abbreviation, but it's different. It's SLP, it's in-game currency of Axie. I think many people, they don't see the big meaning for the whole Bitcoin Cash ecosystem, with this model. This is not just occasional users of Bitcoin Cash. Most of our players, they make all of a big part of their income in Bitcoin Cash. For me, the very big pleasure, the hugely big pleasure to see our new players after the week or two after first or second payment, when they came to, let's say, Smart BCH community Telegram group, or when they arrived to the Bitcoin Cash community, and how the people organically become the Bitcoin Cash community members. This is the adoption I'm really proud for. And I believe that this type of adoption you cannot reach, not with airdrops, not with tips, because you need the person really to be, in positive sense, dependent on Bitcoin Cash. Besides of just getting money, we have very active Discord. And a part of Discord is educate them about Bitcoin Cash, about Smart BCH opportunity. Now this trend is DEXs. So they're asking us what DEX is suggested, what is not suggested. And this is the part. So give persons a big part of their income in Bitcoin Cash, and then help teach how to use this most effectively. We now have 36 players, 2 coaches. So in total, it's 38. And our plan is to have 100 till the end of the year. Imagine this, 100 person which receive most of their money for living in Bitcoin Cash. It's a big deal.
You did mention that you're introducing them also into Smart BCH, and there's a whole Smart BCH token sort of connected with your guild, isn't there?
Many people miss a little bit why we have the payouts, let's say Bitcoin Cash, and why we have our separate token. The answer is very simple. Like the token is a mechanism for rewarding investors and holders. Yeah, the people who actually provide the initial capital for depending, because we started the AxieBCH Guild with pre-sale, basically with initial offering, and we direct this money for buying the first portion of our assets, of Axies, of digital assets, and they providing the liquidity. But most of them goes to the digital assets. As a guild, we have the earnings. This is commission from what our players earn from the game. And the part of these earnings, they're directed to benefit all the holders. From we buying back our coins, and also from we are rising, like we buying new assets. In future, we will probably add some kind of dividends, but there are some technical problems. The whole picture is our own token. This is an analog of a crypto stock. So the person who owns this token receiving the constant benefits with the clear financial results of AxieBCH. And when some people in Telegram groups say, oh, you are not the original token, you are stock, we say, yes, that's correct. It's normal because you can have cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin Cash. You can have crypto utilities like Smart BCH because it's utility. It's serving like a gas for all DEXs. And you have crypto stocks. Yes, we are crypto stocks with some utilities as well.
I think most people are familiar with the idea of an exchange launching a token and then doing buybacks. Maybe to oversimplify, it comes down to a big rewards program that seeks to sort of create a community around the holders of the token. I admit it took me a little bit to understand like why anyone would be just creating a token, but rewarding the early investors and stuff like that. That's a use case that I'd not really considered. That helped you get started with upfront costs. And then there's the chance for the people who have the token, if you're successful, to make gains. Of course, none of this is financial advice, but I guess the point is basically this is a way to invest in this project as a whole. And the tokenomics make it so that the better the project does, the better the token holders do. Does that sound right?
Yes, absolutely. And again, we are a little bit different. For instance, we are not minting tokens. So we issue the fixed number of tokens, and this is really very similar. It's some good things we can borrow from the traditional financial world. Yeah, so our token has no inflation. Every token is a part of AxieBCH Guild business or operational model. But somehow it feels like a new in the crypto world. And it's really surprised me a lot. Because like many coins, okay, let's create Doge. We will all buy Doge and then we will all sell Doge. We are just buying and selling a piece of air, but it's also okay, like it's a part of crypto world. But another part, which for me, maybe I'm old-fashioned, but for me is more normal, like we have a token which is backed by the transparent operational model. I like to say that, guys, we are rent a car, just in crypto. If you want to see our business model, we are rent a car. So we sold our stock, buy 100 Mercedeses, and then we lend in these Mercedeses, but also we teach people how to drive, how not to go to the car accident, or maybe how to drive for money, how to take part in the racing. But the operational model cannot be simpler. And I'm happy that more and more people, also from Bitcoin Cash community, started to understand this. We recently launched the outsourcing program, and we announced it on our Reddit. And initially, people just cannot get, it's people from Bitcoin Cash community, cannot just get what's going on, what the offer is about. But now we already have a couple of customers, which I think are understand and pretty happy with the results. So this is also another part of education. From one part, we educate new people about Bitcoin Cash community, and from other part of Bitcoin Cash community about opportunities which exist outside of Bitcoin Cash community.
Denis, thanks a bunch for taking the time to talk to me about AxieBCH. I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.